When looking at old maps, you might stumble upon a street name that seems out of place or long forgotten. But what's the story behind these enigmatic streets? Today, we embark on an historical journey through Stockton, where we'll explore some intriguing examples of streets that have left their mark, or not, on our suburb's history. Our journey begins in 1878, when a Port of Newcastle map unveiled the layout of Stockton, featuring only 5 streets. 4 of them are familiar to many, including Stockton Street, Mitchell Street, Newcastle Street, and Maitland Street. But there's one that stands out, Adams Street. Adams Street, though it appeared on early maps, remains a captivating mystery. No records, newspapers, or governmental sources mention its existence. As Stockton grew, the only direction available was north, so it makes sense that northerly oriented streets were planned. And as you can see in the maps, Adams Street appears to be spaced at a distance similar to existing streets, a logical placement. But here's where it gets interesting. The street remained on maps until 1894, but it seems likely that Adams Street never actually existed. There is no remnant of the street today, no surviving historical records that I've been able to find mention the street, and no current street follows its proposed alignment. It was probably a planned street that was never created and was just copied by later mapmakers. Let's take a detour to Bay Street, but wait, there's a twist. It appears that Bay Street was a simple mistake. The northernmost street assigned this name is actually Ross Street, a case of a simple typo, or perhaps the result of poor penmanship. Speaking of typos, our journey continues as we stumble upon Bay Street, or is it? Once again, Ross Street is mislabeled, this time as Bay Street, where 2 consecutive east-west aligned streets are given the same name. An intriguing case of cartographic confusion. Now, let's navigate our way to Ensor Street. It's an interesting example because the street has survived, but its name has been lost over time. Today, it's little more than a narrow lane, possibly a continuation of North Street. It appears that part of the street was actually over a block of land, which was subsequently fenced off, and the continuation of North Street moved northward. This is a good example of how streets can evolve over time, both in name and form. Our path leads us to Strand Street, a ghostly thoroughfare that once had residents, including James Roach, a miner who met a tragic fate, killed while working at Stockton Colliery in 1900. Only 3 blocks of land faced directly onto Strand Street. By 1944 only 2 houses were near the street, but they appear to face onto Clyde Street, while the backyards face onto Strand Street. The 3 Strand Street facing blocks and the 3 Clyde Street blocks were consolidated at some point. It was during the post-World War II era that the area containing Strand Street rapidly developed as a housing area. Lastly, we encounter Urunga Street, a peculiar case of a paper street. These streets are copyright traps on maps, placed to catch those who would steal the map's design. Urunga Street's placement, on a narrow strip of land near the beach, raises immediate suspicion. Interestingly, while it was visible on the 1928-29 version of Wilson's Newcastle, Maitland and Cessnock Street directory, it was not included in the 1930 edition. And there you have it, the captivating and sometimes perplexing history of some of Stockton's streets. While maps can be invaluable tools for historical research, they can also lead us down intriguing paths filled with educational, incorrect, and sometimes misleading information. Stockton streets, whether real or phantom, are a testament to the town's ever-evolving history. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. Stay curious, and keep exploring the mysteries of the past.